Hey, what's up everybody? This is Robert 184, 2 R's, 2 B's, as always from gundam.tk, and I'm here with Gundam Daily for June 2nd. And I'm not going to talk about this because actually it was just fun to make, and I hope most of you enjoyed watching it to some extent. But anyway, there's big news and more important stuff to talk about, so let's get straight to it. The big news, of course, is that they have announced, in addition to some of the models that they've shown off in the Shizuoka Hobby Show just a few weeks back, they've announced some upcoming models for the fall, and there's some couple of very big announcements. The biggest, of course, being the Master Grade VO, but we already knew about that, so the one that's coming out a month after now is the Master Grade Gundam Deathscythes EW. Now, I've already seen contradicting reports online as to which version of the Deathscythe it could be, because really there's 4 different possibilities of it, from the first one to the Hell, to the Endless Waltz version, to the Katoki Hajime redesign of the first one. But anyway, because it's got EW written here, I think it's a safe bet that it's going to be the Endless Waltz version, because the Master Grade Wing Zero, and here I'm talking about the one from that we call in English the Wing Zero Custom. In the Japanese version, it is called the Endless Waltz version, so if they've got EW here, it's a safe bet that it's from the OVA, but then again, some of the art online, while probably a little preliminary, may cast some doubt on that, but I'm sure we're going to get more pictures closer to the time. So that's scheduled for a September release, and of course that's pretty exciting with this being the 15th anniversary of the anime Gundam Wing, which of course is so popular in the West, etc., as it should be. But we've already got the original version of the Wing, and we've already got the Wing Zero Custom from the OVAs, so now if we're going to get the Deathscythe, and they're using an inner frame that's usable on all of the other kits, there's a lot of possibilities in the future. So my only concern, and it sort of always goes like this for me, is that by announcing the EW version, or what seems to be the Endless Waltz version, that doesn't bode well for us getting other versions of the Deathscythe, I think. It sort of goes back to the fact that they had announced a Master Grade Justice, then of course down the line we know that we're going to get a Master Grade Infinite Justice, but by doing the better version first, sometimes I think that decreases our chances fairly significantly of getting the older versions. But anyway, fans of Gundam Wing, I'm sure you're pretty pleased about that, and I can understand why. So if it's a nice looking kit, and it was actually in the anime, I'll have to wonder about picking that one up. So the other good news, especially for fans of old school and first Gundam here, is that they are releasing what I believe is the first non-mobile suit from the line, and we're getting the high-grade Universal Century Ball, and it's going to be a twin set, which is sort of cool, so I guess the Lotto from Unicorn was fairly successful, and of course that's going to mean it's going to have very few parts, but it should be an exciting kit nonetheless. Whether I pick it up, of course, that's something that I'll have to think about. And that's also coming out in September along with the Master Grade Deathscythe. But anyway, I have to say I was a little bit surprised because I thought I remembered an interview a few years back in one of the hobby magazines where they said they weren't going to do a ball. And I remember back in July, a few years back, they released the high-grade Universal Century Zoc, and they were quite pleased to trumpet on all their promotional materials and posters that they've completed everything from First Gundam. Well, of course, I guess they could just go by the definition that it was the mobile suits, but nonetheless, for fans, that's pretty cool. Otherwise in the news, they've just got some more clarification of the dates coming out, so in July we're going to have the high-grade Universal Century Gira Zulu, and this is the Angelo Custom, so that should be pretty good, especially if you have read the short novels or its serialized versions in any way. Otherwise, if you're like most of us, you're going to have to wait for the anime to see how cool a suit that really is. And then the massive, I'm just going to keep calling this the massive VO is coming out in August, and that's an expensive kit of course, over Ichiman yen. And they're going to have the Jim Kai coming out in August, but of course what's exciting for newer fans, and for me anyway, is the high-grade 00 Quanta, the high-grade 00 Zabanya coming out in August. And then just in time for the 00 movie to come out in theaters, we're going to have the Gundam Harut and the Raphael Gundam coming out in September. But there is no 1/100th kit announced. So after the Shizuoka Hobby Show, of course it was always possible that they were going to announce 1/100th kits, but it looks like it's going to have to be something that we wait for, because by putting out the Quanta in August, I was hoping we'd get a 1/100th of at least the Quanta. I'm not asking for all 4, though that would be nice, in September, but the fact that they've already announced a few new kits like the Ball and the Deathscythe just sort of rules that out. So maybe if the movie does well and the 144th kit sells well, then in the future we'll get a 1/100th kit. But at the moment, it looks like my hopes of having all the leads on my shelves in 1/100th form is a little bit dashed. So I'll wrap up Gundam Daily for June 2nd here. So what do you think of the new kits? Are you excited? Of course, if you like Wing, you've got to be a little bit excited, and it's sort of cool to get the ball twin set. Of course, you have to say that pretty carefully. If you're a fan of old school Gundam. So what do you think? Anything that you're missing out on? Am I the only one who wanted a 1/100th Quanta? Anyway, as always, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Hit like if you like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, you can post stuff on my front page, and once I get some more reviews out of the way, I'd like to go back to answering some questions there. So anyway, as always, everybody, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for lots more.